I didn't buy half of this stuff. It's not mine. Guess whose it is? It's got to be Gordon's. I thought I'd better tidy up because this place is getting messier and messier by the minute. Look at this, the house owner's guide. That's not mine. Must be one of Gordon's harebrained schemes. Some stage or another. Look at this. I bought him a toolbox and he hasn't even put it away. What's that? It's just me. Mind you, I'm not surprised really because I don't know where half this stuff goes. Oh, it doesn't matter. I am very pleased I don't live in a mess. Unlike Gordon, who of course does. I shall sit here instead. I'll have a word with him later on. A few weeks ago, Gordon got home to his burrow and it was so messy that he couldn't even find the floor. It was covered with, well, a mess. Now, knowing Gordon the way you do, you'll understand the way he decided to cure the problem. Instead of clearing up, he decided to make his burrow bigger so that he could sort of spread the mess a bit thinner and it wouldn't look so bad. But knowing Gordon the way you do, you'll not be surprised to learn that halfway through he got bored and he left the job unfinished. He'd always find excuses for not finishing it. It's such a nice day, I think I'll mow the roof, he'd say. Or, I wonder what Philip's doing. Or, I must really write to Mum and Dad and Aunt Agatha and Uncle Harry and, of course, this cousin Pablo, too. I mustn't forget him. Or, I must answer all my fan mail and sign all those photographs. I'll finish the living room tomorrow. But he never did, you see. Tomorrow never comes, does it? Not for Gordon, anyway. Anyway, one day, Gordon was busy creating another mess with the help of a platoon of toy soldiers when suddenly he was showered with bits of soil and dust and a very surprised worm. He looked up and noticed an alarming bulge in the ceiling where he'd started burrowing to make the room bigger, but hadn't finished it. It looked as if it was about to collapse at any moment. Ooh, crumbs, he said. I'll have to prop up the roof with something to stop it falling down. But what could he use? He racked his brain, but couldn't think of anything. So he racked it again just to be on the safe side. Aha! He cried, and dashed into the bedroom where he pulled out several large plastic bags and a box from under the bed. They were full of records by a group called the Rolling Gophers. Now, he'd bought hundreds of them to try and push their song, The Long and Winding Burrow, into the pop charts. It didn't work, and Gordon got stuck with loads of useless records. Useless until, of course, now. Frantically, he piled them one on top of the other until they reached the ceiling, and they were wedged tight against the bulge. There, that ought to hold it for a while, he said. Then he went to look for his tools so that he could fix it properly. But the tools weren't in his toolbox, which isn't surprising because he rarely puts anything back when he's finished with it. They weren't in the bathroom either. Well, you never know, he thought. And they definitely weren't in his toy box. How was he going to finish the job without tools? He thought for a moment and then said the magic word. Philip. Philip's got a shed full of tools, he said, so he dashed round to borrow some. When he arrived, I was in the middle of being interviewed by Music Squeak magazine. Now, they'd sent round a part-time fashion reporter to do an article about me. She was a very trendy young reporter by the name of Glenda the Gopher. I hadn't told Gordon about it because I knew what would happen. Gordon loves publicity. And if there's a limelight going, he'll hog it. He can't help it. Cooey, Philip, he called, crashing into the back door. Oh, no, I groaned. Philip, said Gordon, have you got any tools I could... Ah, he spotted Glenda. Hello, are you doing an interview? You are, aren't you? And he bounded over and introduced himself. Hi, he said, oozing as much cool as he could muster. I'm Gordon the Gopher. Can I have an interview too? Glenda looked Gordon up and down. He was covered in dust and dirt. I don't think she was too impressed, to be honest. Surely he wasn't the sharp, hip gopher everyone had heard about. Gordon, I hissed, this is my interview. The tools are in the sheds, okay? Now burrow off. There's a good fellow. Sorry about the interruption, I said, turning to Glenda. Quite all right, Mr. Schofield, she replied sweetly. These things are sent to try us. I've seldom seen Gordon so upset, rejected, and dejected. He sighed and trudged off into the shed, mumbling as he went. Well, it was worth a try. Glenda and I tried to get back to the interview, but a moment later there was a loud banging and clattering and squeaking from the shed. Seconds later, he was back. He wasn't going to give up on an interview that easily. He peered round the door in a tangle of extension leads holding on an electric drill. I was just thinking, he said hopefully. Gordon, I scolded, No, no, I really was, he went on. What this story needs is a little human interest. Meaning you, I suppose, I said. Why not? He said modestly. Because you're not human, I suggested. Well, he said, if you're going to be like that, then fate stepped in. And what makes you so interesting anyway? Demanded Glenda. Oh, it was a fatal mistake. I thought you'd never ask. Glenda looked on in disbelief as Gordon struggled to get untangled from the extension leads. I've done things you wouldn't believe, he boasted, and promptly dropped the electric drill on his foot. I can believe it, Glenda said sarcastically. And I'm the best dressed gopher in Europe, he continued, hopping over and trying to rub his hurt foot at the same time. He failed miserably, tripped over a loop of loose lead and keeled over in a heap at Glenda's feet. Best dressed? She mused. I can see, as she looked down at Gordon's grubby t-shirt. I helped Gordon untangle himself, and he tried to explain that the reason he wasn't the best dressed gopher today was that he was doing some DIY. That stands for dig it yourself, said Gordon, and explained his plans for enlarging his burrow. But Glenda said that if he knew as much about DIY as he seemed to know about fashion, then he was going to need a lot of help. Are you offering? He asked. Well, I do know a bit about interior design, Glenda admitted hesitantly. What's into thingy? Whispered Gordon. I told him it was like decorating, only trendier. He was very impressed. This into what's it? He said to Glenda. Could it make your burrow look really cool? Oh, yes, said Glenda, who, never having seen Gordon's burrow before, didn't realize what she was saying. Do you think you could give me a few tips then? He asked. I'd have to see it first, she said. No problem, he told her. It's just around the corner. So grabbing her hand, he pulled her off. He had hijacked my interview. When they reached his burrow, Gordon ushered Glenda inside, eager for her professional verdict. What do you think? He said proudly. It's a bit on the dingy side, she said. You could do with another skylight. And the place is an absolute tip. She was right. There were toys all over the floor, and books and comics everywhere, and clothes anywhere but in the right place. I don't know how you can find anything. Besides which, it's dangerous, Glenda warned. You could have an accident. You should put things away. But I know where everything is, protested Gordon, and it's not dangerous at... Ah! He stepped on a skateboard he'd left lying about, careered across the room, hit a toy truck, sailed through the air, and crashed straight into the pile of rolling Gopher records that were propping up the roof. Uh-oh, he said, as the pile collapsed into a heap of smashed hits. Then there was a deep, earthy rumble, and Gordon had just enough time to say, uh-oh, again, before the roof caved in. When the soil had settled and the dust had cleared, there was a dirty great hole in the roof. There, said Gordon weakly. You said I needed a new skylight. But Glenda wasn't at all pleased. There were dirty black smudges all over her trendy clothes. What a mess. Gordon was feeling very sorry for himself. I know, he thought. I'll go for the sympathy vote. Ah! Oh! I think I'm hurt. Oh, I do feel funny. Oh, ah! He overacted badly. Can you do first aid? I have to go to hospital, you know. But then he thought about it and said, No, I won't. They may have to give me an injection. Glenda looked him over. He really wasn't hurt at all, she decided. But she'd had an idea. She'd get her own back on Gordon for ruining her outfit. Where do you keep your first aid kit, she asked. In the kitchen, replied Gordon nervously. Surprisingly, it didn't take her very long to find it. She looked inside. Good, everything I need, she thought. She started to bandage Gordon's ankles first, then his legs, his arms, his face, and she kept on bandaging him until he was all wrapped up like an Egyptian mummy. Oh, no, he cried. How serious is it? Glenda propped him up against the sideboard, stood back, and smiled. You're not hurt at all, are you? She said sternly. But it serves you right for ruining my clothes. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, apologized Gordon. He looked so helpless and funny that Glenda had already forgiven him, but she wasn't going to tell him that, not yet, anyway. I'll ring you about the dry cleaning bill, she said with a smile, and then she left. No, wait. You can't leave me here, not like this. Help. Please, wait. But she was already on her way to tell me what had happened. I thought I'd better go and rescue him after we finished the interview. Actually, I wonder what he's up to now. Very quiet. Ah! Oh, yes. Very funny, Gordon. This is a humorous one, isn't it? I bet I know who's on the end of this as well. There you are. Now come here. Come here. Come here, you've got to put this toolbox away. And you've got to untangle me, Gordon. At least come and give me a hand. Where did that go?